Sup guys, let's do this. What is up you guys? Claudio back again with a new reaction. This time we have Darth Jar Jar is Kylo Ren's boss. This is by a channel that goes under the name Dan Brown, same as the author I think that did Dan Brown, I used to read his books. He did the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, among others. But I don't think it's the same guy. Anyway, this was suggested by, and he thought that we should check it out. I know what this is going to be about. This is about the people speculating about Jar Jar Binks being like the Sith Lord. Stuff like that. It's super weird. I've heard about this, but I haven't seen this video, so it should be interesting. Let's check it out.
Hey world, I'm Dan Brown, and we need to stop everything that we're doing and talk for a minute about how Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord. I follow the Star Wars subreddit, and about a week ago I noticed a post titled, Jar Jar Binks was a trained Force user, knowing Sith collaborator, and will play a central role in The Force Awakens. And at first I thought to myself, ha, funny joke, I barely skimmed the whole thing and moved on with my life. Over the intervening week, that post has become one of the top 25 Reddit submissions of all time. So last night, I went back, read through it thoroughly, and I gotta tell you guys, this rabbit hole is so deep. There is so much evidence. I am a believer, and I'm going to turn you guys into believers too. Username Celestial Ronin has done a ton of digging on this and clues us in that things were a little bit off with Jar Jar from the very beginning.
Okay. There's animals for miles running away from these tanks. Jar Jar Binks is walking towards them, standing there waiting for the arrival of Qui-Gon Jinn. Basically, as agile as Jar Jar Binks had been, blocks Qui-Gon Jinn's path, and they both tumble to the ground.
What exactly is this Jar Jar agility he's referring to? This is something that is thoroughly established in the original Reddit post. I'm just going to go point by point here. All credit should go to Reddit username Lumpovaru. Jedi are largely based off of Shaolin monks, warriors in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Always drawn heavily from real-world martial arts disciplines, and there's a particular discipline of martial arts that matches Jar Jar Binks to a T. It's called Zui Quan, I think I'm saying that right, or drunken boxing. It's a fighting style designed to lull one's opposition into a false sense of security by appearing to be clumsy and uncoordinated, but using your apparent lurching and falling to kick some serious ass.
This is fucking weird.
Comparisons. Here we see Binks sloshing. Here we see Binks kipping up. Here we see Binks centering himself. These are all very precise and zen techniques for someone who fronts as being so clumsy. Jar Jar's apparent mastery of drunken fist is a metaphor for his role in the plot at large. Maybe Jar Jar's true nature isn't annoying and inept. Maybe it's all an act to mislead not only Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, but the audience as well. Now, things start to get really juicy when Jar Jar's apparent use of the Force is pointed out to you. This is something that only Jedi and Sith pretty much should be able to tap into. Most of it is subtle, well hidden, and frankly, creepy when you see it. I had goosebumps when I saw some of this. But one of the first things you see Jar Jar do is this gravity-defying display of acrobatics. I mean, that has to be a Force-assisted jump, right? And that's not his only Force-assisted jump in The Phantom Menace, though this next one is much harder to pick up on. In this scene right here, pay attention to Jar Jar. He's dangling from the right side of the balcony, then the camera angle changes, and Jar Jar falls from what would be the left side. Okay, it's easy to write this one off as a simple continuity error, a movie mistake. That is, until you notice where this second droid is looking and shooting at. It's looking at Jar Jar's initial position to the right. Then we see Jar Jar fall to the left. Then it fires at Jar Jar's initial position to the right, only to immediately shift toward where he is now, to the left. All like, how the hell did he get over there? The animators deliberately imply there that Binks made a Force jump, and Jar Jar's use of the Force is far from limited to the
No, come on.
The most iconic use of the Force in all of Star Wars so far is Obi-Wan's psychological manipulation from the original trilogy.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Hold on.
There are moments when Jar Jar makes suggestions coupled with not so subtle hand gestures to, among other things, receive a promotion in the military, receive a promotion in the Senate, convince the Senate to suspend democracy and grant Palpatine emergency powers. And it's not just hand gestures. At times, Binks appears to literally be putting words in other characters' mouths.
The Queen wishes it. She's curious about the planet.
Well, I don't know.
Credit to YouTube username Motzi for those observations, and the top comment on Motzi's upload points out, Jar Jar is a CG rendered character, so every single motion he makes is deliberate. The animators intentionally directed his every gesture, his every turn of head, his movement of lips. This is very different from an actor who just happens to look at an odd direction or make a strange posture. This was the moment for me when I pulled a Han Solo from the Episode 7 trailer.
It's true.
Binks and Palpatine are co-conspirators. They have to be. I mean, they're from the same planet. It's entirely plausible that they had a long-standing working relationship long before Jar Jar's first frame of screen time. Not to mention that the voice actor who played Jar Jar Binks responded to this theory by tweeting, "It feels really good when the hidden meaning behind the work is seen, no matter how long it takes. Hashtag the Phantom Menace." So if they're co-conspirators, what's the conspiracy? What exactly is their plan? Well, for this, I want to go back to Celestial Ronin's car vlog.
After Padme, who is the real Queen Amidala, is excused from meeting with R2-D2 and starts cleaning him, Jar Jar Binks immediately introduces himself to her. After their planet side, if you believe the whole Force persuasion, he then arranges for Padme to go with them. ObiWan Kenobi receives a message from the governor of Naboo, who is in captivity with the Trade Federation. Immediately, ObiWan Kenobi senses, this is a trap. He tells Qui-Gon Jinn, same thing. It's a trick, send no communication. Both of them said no communication. As soon as that scene ended, we cut to Coruscant, or wherever Palpatine and Darth Maul were at the time, and suddenly they're like, oh yeah,
Darth Maul was
the
awesome.
Sith already know by that time where they are, because Jar Jar had told them earlier. Darth Maul comes out of nowhere, fails to kill Qui-Gon Jinn. Darth Maul was supposed to assassinate the Jedi, and then Jar Jar Binks would leave with Queen Amidala back to Coruscant. That was the intent. Darth Maul messed up that plan.
As of now, believers are separated into two basic camps. First of all, there are those who say, holy shit, this was obviously George Lucas's intent, but he obviously chickened out in the face of the magnitude of the negative reaction to Jar Jar Binks, and we will never hear from the character again. Now, this is supported by some comments made by George Lucas in some interviews, where he basically said, blah, 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 we changed some characters and plot twists because of negative fan reaction, blah, blah, blah. Then there's the camp I belong to, if for no other reason than it being super fun, though we have some evidence. We don't think that Disney or J.J. Abrams just want to sweep the prequels under the rug and cash in. We think that they would rather try to redeem the prequels somewhat, and with them George Lucas's legacy.
One reference.
Retroactively. We already know through some behind-the-scenes footage that there will likely be Gungans in The Force Awakens, and we already know that Kylo Ren, the new face of the dark side and clear Darth Vader analog, is not at the top of the First Order's chain of command. Kylo Ren's boss is an as-of-yet mysterious character, Supreme Leader of the First Order, Snoke.
Snoke.
It's his voice that we heard at the very beginning of the very first teaser trailer.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Vader is Dutch for father, as in Vader is Luke's father, the greatest twist in movie history. Snoke is Dutch for fish, not just fish, but pike, as in, can you think of a character from the Star Wars universe who resembles a pike and might constitute a plot twist just as jarring as Vader's reveal? Oh, and what do you know? Snoke is to be played by Andy Serkis via motion capture. He's a CG character. You think maybe, possibly, it might just be old, twisted, dark side version of Misa Jar Jar. There's been an awakening. Again, these ideas are not my own. I am just compiling them in video form. All credit goes to Reddit username Lumpawaroo and the ever-growing body of evidence accessible at reddit.com/r/Darth Jar Jar. There are links below.
Darth Jar Jar, huh?
Check it out. The rabbit hole is already very deep, and I assume people are going to keep
Oh, man.
in the 41 days between now and the release of The Force Awakens. So let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Yeah, so this is fucking crazy, obviously. I don't... oh, man. Jar Jar. Can you imagine that? You know, this is a bit of a spoiler, but... So if you haven't seen The Force Awakens, click away now. Anyway, they reference, I think Kylo Ren references the prequels once. I think he mentions the prequel only once in the entire movie. So no, Jar Jar didn't show up in The Force Awakens, and Snoke, Supreme Leader or whatever, he doesn't look like him at all. So I'm pretty sure Jar Jar isn't going to show up in the next one either, or hopefully in any other Star Wars related thing ever again. He was annoying as fuck. Man, I hated Jar Jar. Oh, I remember when I went to see the fucking movie back in '99. It came out and I was like, what the fuck was that? Whew. Enough of that. Anyway, this video was pretty cool. I like how people get into stuff like this. It's pretty internet to do stuff like this, like weird theories or whatever. You know, pretty amusing. Honestly, it was pretty cool. I've heard about this before, and I know a bunch of people have done videos on this topic. Too bad I didn't have time to get to this video before I saw The Force Awakens. But that's the way it is. I don't have time to do everything when you guys send me the videos, because it takes time. You know, I have a long list. But yeah, anyway, this was a pretty cool suggestion and video. Thank you for that. Guys, I see you in the next one.